Gentlemen, we may not come back from this alive. This is Lifespring Grotto. I'm sure you can pick up the pattern by now. Of course, the bosses here will be based on Final Fantasy V bosses, which, oh boy, you'll see. But, oh wow, the exit's right there, so I guess this starts rather easily. We got a pretty good floor right now. I like short floors, they're over quickly. Now, anyway, Lifespring Grotto isn't, 15 floors, it didn't go up by 5, it actually doubled from Hellfire Chasm. There are 20 floors in this dungeon, but there are still bosses every 5 floors, I believe? Actually, I believe it's 5 for the floors 5 and 10, but then there are no bosses on floor 15, it's actually a boss on floor 20. It's a bit weird, and I don't know why they didn't take any more bosses from Final Fantasy V, but whatever. Anyway, so, we've got a pretty good mix of floors, actually. I mean, we went through Water Dungeon, Sky Dungeon, and now we're back in Marsh Cave. And we got a couple of Revenants, which are absolutely no trouble whatsoever, because we'll just whack them upside the head and they'll die. Of course, the Marsh Cave map, as per usual, my memory isn't the best on this, but, I believe I don't like this floor in the slightest. Yeah, I remember something about lots and lots of pillars and being really annoying to navigate, and, well, this looks like it fits the bill just fine. Oh yeah, now I remember this floor. This is a really, really painfully long floor. Pillars everywhere, difficult to figure out where to go, and not only that, the random encounters here are very, very high. You'll be seeing a lot of enemies from actually pretty much from right where I'm standing to right here. Yeah, that's right. Whoa! I love that. It's just like, you turn around, gigantic fucking dragon, and he's just like, oh, welcome. Hey, how's it going? And apparently, he wants us to go through some trials just like normal Bahamut. But this time, he wants us to kill a bunch of dragons, which, of course, brings us to the best segment ever, Dragon Genocide! Ah, it's my favorite time of year. We basically just kill a bunch of dragons. Why? Because a dragon told us to, so it's completely justified. Look at that, new dragons. We haven't seen these dragons. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Dragon Genocide anyway. This guy's probably pretty tough because we haven't seen him before, and he looks threatening. See? Did a lot of damage to my knight. Very threatening. Why shouldn't I kill him? I didn't hear you say anything, so I assume you didn't. So I'm just going to continue on murdering this dragon, and now he is dead, and the Dragon Genocide continues. It's the best time of day, Dragon Genocide time. I don't even remember seeing these guys, maybe, except maybe we did, I'm not quite sure. Silver dragons are kind of generic, but whatever, he's dead, he didn't even put up a fight. So, let's continue Dragon Genociding. Especially now that we're getting experience and money for it. Taking all these guys out, no problem whatsoever. Holy dragon! I wonder what he uses. Could it maybe be the spell, Oh, it's holy. Personally, I was gonna say Faraga, but it's holy, which is actually kind of damaging. But whatever, it doesn't matter, because you know what? I'm on a Dragon Genocide, I'm killing all the dragons, because again, Dragon told me to. So you know what? I'm gonna do it. I don't see why I shouldn't. I mean, really, these fucking dragons, they're everywhere. Everywhere. You know how much food they probably take up? They probably take up a lot of food. They probably eat and eat and eat, and, you know, that's plenty of food that we don't get. So you know what? We're gonna kill the hell out of the dragons. That is how I'm going to justify things. Because that's totally rational, right? Plus, these dragons, you know these dragons? I bet they say your kids are little shits. Yeah, that's right. I heard them say your kids are terrible. And you know what? What if you don't even have a kid? You probably don't have a kid if you're listening to me. So you know what? These dragons, they think they're better than your kids. They think their kids are better than your kids. Yeah, so you know what? Fuck them. Dragon Genocide. And you know what? Now I'm leveling up. You know what that means? Better Dragon Genocide. I can Dragon Genocide twice as hard now. That's right, twice. Just from those meager stat ups. I am just able to take out dragons left and right. Or in this case, right and down. That didn't exactly work out so well. I could have killed them faster, but whatever. And oh, look at that. That dragon came crying to Dark Bahamut. What have I done? I killed them all! That last one was just trying to suck up to Bahamut! Oh god, I killed them all! And for what? To open a door? I'm a monster! Now, well, whatever. Anyway, 5th floor, so it's almost boss time. And this is actually kind of similar to that one floor from Sunken Shrine, where we talked to a bunch of mermaids and then they told us stuff. Except these guys just sort of lead us in a certain direction. And, Man with Halberd, Final Fantasy V, who could it possibly be? An enormous monster? Well, I saw plenty of monsters, but none of them were really that big. I mean, there was Kraken, but he's not a monster, he's a gentleman. Yeah, I don't believe it either, lady. Let's just all forget what we saw. Broken robots. Why are these robots broken? I don't know. Apparently they just wanted to put some broken robots in. I don't get it either, but whatever. No, those crazy kids and their air-producing water. Kids these days. Huh? Is that Excalibur? Indeed, it is Gilgamesh, the recurring character in the series, who is actually the same character every time. How? I don't know. Time, space warping, or whatever. Point is, this is probably the same Gilgamesh from Final Fantasy V, because he gets the fuck around. Now, Gilgamesh is kind of treated as a joke character, which is kind of weird because he's actually a pretty tough opponent. Especially in this game, he can do quite a bit of damage, he's got a high number of spells. Actually, he's pretty similar to his original counterpart, I believe. Let's see, he's got a bunch of buff spells, like Protect and, does he have Haste in this game? I'm pretty sure he had Haste in the original game. Actually, he had a lot of different spells, because you encountered him a bunch of times. But anyway, point is, he's got a high attack power, and he's got, you know, some good spells. However, he is kind of dumb. That blade he just used is Excalibur, which is a really bad copy of the Excalibur, and that's probably where he gets his title of Complete Idiot. He may be a competent swordsman, however, he gets Excalibur mixed up with Excalibur, which is the blade we are currently shoving into his leg. Now, the Excalibur cannot do any more than 1 damage to you. However, he doesn't seem to want to use it on me. Apparently, he's actually content with using his regular blade, which is actually kind of smart of him. Again, I don't know why he's a... Okay, again, I do know why he's a joke character, but just because he is kind of a joke character, don't not take him seriously. That totally made sense, right? Also, just something I thought of, he can actually appear in different locations throughout this dungeon, and I think he actually has different lines for when he appears. Well, he just has a bunch of different ones, though I can't really name them off the top of my head. Though I do like the quote he used. I'm pretty sure that's one of the more well-known ones. And we got the Genji gloves. Now, I've actually forgot to bring this up, but this dungeon is the first area we can get the Genji equipment, which is a recurring item set. course, it makes sense that Gilgamesh had the Genji gloves due to the fact that in Final Fantasy V, you got all the Genji equipment by stealing from him. So, he has the Genji gloves, which you can get from him every time you fight him. Now, the Genji equipment can only be equipped by knights and ninjas, so only Vance can really make any use of it. But still, it is pretty nice to have. The problem is, you're probably not going to get most of it. Now, the thing is, there's actually a Genji shield you can get in this dungeon, and it's on the second floor. It's one of the second floor treasures. However, the thing about this dungeon is, it's only available when a certain floor is the second floor. There's one specific floor that produces special treasures, but given all of these are randomized, you basically have to go in and out until you get that specific floor as the second floor, and it's very annoying, especially given you can't just exit out. If you actually manage to get the Genji shield, you then have to proceed to the 5th floor, and then leave from there. I'm not really going to chase after it. If I happen to get it, then I'll pick it up. If not, well, too bad. The Genji equipment isn't really that big a bonus. I mean, once I'm done with these bonus dungeons, I'll be able to take everything out no problem, so getting the Genji equipment, not a big deal. But anyway, that more or less does it for this floor. Gilgamesh put up a bit of a fight, but in the end, of course, he went down. Just like Hellfire Chasm, you can get out early if you take that teleporter, but I'm not going to do that. Alright, let's see what the next floors have in store for, whistle, 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 gee, doesn't this look familiar, right guys? What, you don't recognize this area? But we were just here a while ago. But I guess it can't be helped, so let's just move on to an also familiar area. What are you talking about? That area was totally familiar. We were totally in that area before. Now let's just shut up and never speak about that again. Ah, and we actually got a golden apple. Now that's one of the more useful items you can get in these bonus dungeons, the apple items. Now I believe the golden apple gives you an extra 10 HP rather than the normal 5 that the silver apples get you. They're not much at a time, but if you find a bunch of them, they're very useful. I will, of course, be giving them to Dante later on because he does need the HP, and is that the staircase right there? That's the staircase right there. Thank you, game. That was very nice of it. And we're already on the second to last floor before the boss room, which, of course, is a maze version of the ice cavern. And I don't know exactly where to... I think I was actually on the right track before, wasn't I? Can't really recognize this area that... Oh, yep, definitely. I thought it was somewhere around the center, I just wasn't that sure. Anyway, we're already in the boss room. That was very, very easy. Thank you, game, for handing me those exits on probably a golden or platinum platter. It was very polite of you. And the boss is right here, but of course it's a Tamos, and let me tell you this, he is nowhere near as annoying as he was in Final Fantasy V. The thing about him in that game was, he would pelt you with Comet, and I mean pelt you. He would not stop using it on the entire party until someone died, and someone would die. In fact, the general accepted strategy, someone would have to die, due to the fact that he may spam Comet. However, once someone dies, he'll actually begin sucking them into himself, and eventually they'd be consumed. Keyword eventually. It would actually take a long time for them to actually be devoured by Tamos. In fact, it got quite a long time, like, I don't know, 3-5 minutes, something around that. So basically, you had 5 minutes where a Tamos would do pretty much absolutely nothing, and you just had to pelt him with everything you had. The worst part about it, of course, is the fact that whoever had to die to distract a Tamos would be left out of the ABP yield, which sucked because, you know, ability points, they were pretty good. Oh wait, do bosses give ability points in 5? I'm pretty sure they do, they just don't give experience, right? I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Has been a little while since I've played the game, but nonetheless, that hardly has any bearing. Anyway, yeah, this version, a hell of a lot easier than 5's version. He can still use Comet, and apparently he can still use Wormhole. I've honestly never seen him use Wormhole, though. It's an instant kill attack, but apparently has a very low hit rate. So if he actually uses it on me, then it probably won't... Actually, no, it definitely won't do anything to me, because I'm resistant to instant death, so there's that. But he does still use Comet, and apparently Faraga, which I don't think he actually had Faraga in the original game. He definitely had Comet, I know that for a fact, but I think he had a bunch of, like, gravity and maybe a few some sort of status effect spells. But of course, he didn't really use those that much. But I don't think he has any of those this time around. He just has Faraga, Comet, and apparently Wormhole. Again, I've never seen him use it, which is weird because it was basically the thing he did in that game. It's kind of weird to see him, well, not use it, and basically that the attack is absolutely useless, because he was pretty threatening in 5. And if you look at him design-wise, he is kind of threatening, actually. Nowhere near as creepy as he is in Final Fantasy IX, though. Jeez, that thing is creepy. But, alas, dear Tomos, he is dead. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying alas, because I never really liked him anyway. Kind of a dick. But, for defeating him, we get the Judgment Staff. What does that do? Oh, that's the one that casts Flare. Okay, that's pretty useful. Probably not as good as an actual use of Flare, but hey, you know, I have Flare if I actually need it. I probably won't, but you never know. Anyway, area is actually kind of annoying to navigate. Behold, this room is actually tougher than the boss itself! I went the completely wrong way because I don't want to leave this dungeon yet, except I actually do kind of want to leave the dungeon. Because, of course, there are the next bosses we have to fight. And, of course, if you've heard of Final Fantasy V, you might have a guess of what they are. But let's not worry about this just yet, because we've got a bunch more floors to go through. In fact, we have actually 9 more to go through before the boss. Now, I'm guessing since I got really lucky with the previous floors, and, you know, just how short they were, that these are all probably going to be very long, and just riddled with a bunch of encounters, like these killer sharks, which are actually threatening. Unlike, of course, their other shark brethren, which hardly put up a fight ever, these guys actually do quite a bit of damage, and I'm not sure if they just naturally get more, surprise attacks on you, but for some reason they do for me. I get surprise attacked by sharks a lot. Not really that strange, though, because, you know, they are sharks, but whatever. Even though they do quite a bit of damage, they don't worry me. At the very least, they're better than the black goblins, which we're still fighting. Or I am, anyway. Ah, damn it, another dead end. That was the blue troll, everybody. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Alright, well, anyway, apparently since that blue troll didn't want to fight me, I guess I'll just move on. And yeah, a bunch of dead ends. I believe I brought up my problem with Hellfire Chasm before, right? The fact that it is basically just Mount Gold except a maze. This area basically just takes the Sunken Shrine and makes it a maze, which kind of goes against the area itself. Because Sunken Shrine wasn't really that maze-like. There were a few dead ends, but it wasn't really that bad. But of course, this one's just a maze, because, you know, screw dungeon design, let's just make it really confusing and stuff. Also, it is apparently illegal to film the Sahagin Queen in her natural habitat, so I should not do that, otherwise, I don't know, I guess the Sahagin government will sue me, and whistle, 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 it's this area again that we sure have been to already. Oh man, so many great memories of this dungeon. I can't believe you guys don't remember this one. I mean, really. We've been here like, what, twice or something? I mean, honestly. Apparently that gravestone says absolutely nothing, but hey, you know, you can't write all the things. Okay, where are... Okay, it's one of those pointless gimmick floors. There are dancers everywhere, and there are no encounters. So it is just us walking and talking to dancers. Also, I just want to see one specific bit of... There we go, that's a reference to Final Fantasy IX. So, now that we've seen that, let's get out of here. Damn dancer floor. Oh, and more dancers. Yes, this, dear friends, is what Square Enix decided. You know what, let's put this in the game. This is what they decide should go in. A floor full of dancers, and they get in your way. Isn't that just brilliant dungeon design? And guess what? 3 floors of it! This one isn't really even a dancer floor. There's only one dancer. This is just walking through a hallway, and that's all just for a treasure chest, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that's just for a treasure chest. So we're not even going the right way. Even if there are no encounters, I don't want to waste my time with that, because I know it's going to be useless. So let's just move on and just forget about this floor. Shouldn't be difficult, because it's not even that good a floor. There were dancers. That was it. And here we are again! Why are there so many floors based off this dungeon that we have totally seen already? Whistle, 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 shut up. You've seen this before, I promise you. You've already seen this, so we're just gonna walk through it. You're just gonna forget it ever happened, just like you did with it before, and we're actually gonna go to this area, which is one of the most wasted potential areas in this entire dungeon. I really love this theme. Seriously, it's just so cool looking. This is nothing like anything you've actually seen in... Well, okay, technically, it looks like all the towns you've seen before. But, the thing is, now it's underwater, and that is just cool. Other than the fact that you can actually kind of see water in the distance, like, hold on a sec, I'll show you what I mean. Look, see? You can see water underwater. That's clearly the water tiles. But, whatever, I'm not going to judge it. And you know what's really awesome? No random encounters. So we're just rowing through this nice, peaceful, destroyed area. And you know, it seems like everything's a-okay, right? Then you realize there's no standard exit. What could the exit be? Well, you see all these doors? One of them could be the exit. And I do mean one of them. We have to hunt for the one door in the area that we can enter and use to leave. I really like this area aesthetically, because it just looks so cool, and, you know, Sunken Town, it's awesome! Theme that hasn't been used in the game. It's just... why did they have to just throw this whole gimmick in? This whole, oh, you gotta find the exit crap. Oh boy, and another fun gimmick area. This is a library filled with smart people. See? Yes, he says things smart people say, right? I'm pretty sure smart people say these things. See? He's vague, but I'm pretty sure that was smart. And we are in a library, which is sort of a Final Fantasy V reference. That game had a library in it, so this makes complete sense. And there are no random battles, which I guess is good. It is just us talking to librarians and trying to find the exit. Doesn't that just sound so fun? Just walking and talking to people, all of which have unique dialogue. Yes, that's right. This area has so much unique dialogue. Librarians everywhere, and they all say a new thing as far as I know. So yes, the writing team just focused all their energy on this area. Yes, this area. You know, apparently they can't give Atomos proper dialogue. They just have him say interlopers. But these fucking librarians, man, these guys... Oh, that guy said, now I see. That is a smart thing to say. Oh, look at this guy. He's a genius. Isn't this just so brilliant? All of us are brilliant. This guy, brilliant. Actually, no, he says ghost. Therefore, he is a terrible scientist, even though ghosts exist in this dimension. I don't even know what he's talking about, but whatever, he's probably smart. He's in a library, therefore smart. Logic. There. And look at that, he understands tides. Look at these guys, they're fucking well read. Are these even books on the shelves? They look like random glasses. Like, that one looks like a weird blue glass. One looks like an orange glass. Do you guys just have flasks in here? Do you just get really drunk and have drunken library parties? Because that sounds extremely weird, and I don't know why librarians would have drunken library parties. But hey, you know, they do have glasses everywhere. And this guy won't move. Move your dumb butt, dude. Come on. Move it. Move it. Move it. Come on, keep going. You're still blocking me. There you go. Crying out loud. That guy is rude. Even if he is a genius, I'll admit he must be smart. As is that guy, or that guy. He also might be kind of malicious. But other than that, they are kind of rude. And no, you are wrong. Monsters aren't people, that's why they're called monsters. I doubt he'll tell anyone shit, but whatever. You know, just the fact that he recognizes me is kind of nice. Recognition. Kraken, he is a gentleman, good sir. And that is all I have to say to that man. Apparently that man isn't as smart as the other librarians. Okay, that guy, I'm just going to say, is trying to take the easy way out. He is basically the scientist that tries to make a dumb volcano project, except that's very, very easy and every preschooler does it, and here we are. Wait, is this the last floor? Oh boy, did you see that? Did you see that? How I just ran off these tiles, and then I started at the beginning? Yep. This is also a gimmick floor, and while it looks cool, this one is very, very annoying. See what I'm doing? This is basically what you have to do. You have to wait for these invisible paths to show themselves, otherwise you run the risk of running off the cliff and starting back at the beginning. Yeah, I don't like this floor. It takes forever to traverse. And you know what the worst thing is? This is the floor where you get the Genji shield on. Meaning, if you want to pick it up and you're on the second floor, then you have to search around for the chest that it's located in, and it could be anywhere. Luckily though, I'm not looking for items, I'm just trying to traverse this area very, very slowly. Okay, here we are, thank goodness. And that was floor 19, correct? Yep. Here we are, guys. 20th floor. So, fun fact. Final Fantasy V was more or less the first game that came up with super bosses. Bosses that were a lot more powerful than the final boss himself. And you know what? They decided to use them in this game. Here on this floor are the two super bosses of Final Fantasy V, Omega and Shinryu. And we gotta fight one of them. But because Omega is far more powerful than I am at the moment, we're gonna go after Shinryu, the follower of Omega. He is the follower of Omega because that's all he ever talks about. Oh, I follow Omega! Omega, I've got your back, I'm always right there, even though he's a bit of a distance behind Omega, but whatever. So, Shinryu here, in addition to his normal attacks, only ever does spells that attack the entire party. He's got Ice Storm, Thunderbolt, Tidal Wave, and his most deadly attack, Flare. Now, all of these can pretty much take you out pretty quickly. Tidal Wave, or Tidal Wave? Or wait, no, it is called Tidal Wave, Tsunami is a different move. But anyway, yeah, Tidal Wave and Flare are pretty much his most dangerous moves. Now, I don't know why I use Protera, it's really not going to help me that much. Invisora is also going to be relatively useless because he doesn't do just his attack all that often. He usually uses his all-party attacks. So basically what I'm going to do is, I'm going to play this safe. I'm going to use Healaga constantly. I'm also hopefully going to be able to use Dante to keep someone healed, because Healaga might not do all of the work for me, because someone might still need a healing afterwards, and the thing is, you're definitely going to want to keep everyone healed, because if they're that far down, like if they have too much HP missing, Shinryu can still kill them. Like, even if you're at like 600 HP, that's still dangerous. You want to be as close to full HP as possible. So, this is gonna be a long battle, so I'm actually gonna speed most of this up. And that's the end of Shinryu. You know all those people that say patience is a virtue? Well, they're right. It is a virtue when you're trying not to get your face ripped off by a Dragon King thing. Not the most efficient run, but hey, it worked out in the end, and you actually get some pretty good equipment for it. Ragnarok is actually a very, very good sword that it seems only the knight can use. And of course Max can't use it, because why would he be able to do that, really? We also get the Hero Shield, which is basically a ribbon, except it's a shield, so I don't have to sacrifice any defense. Sorry, Excalibur, but apparently you're not the best sword ever anymore. So, now that we have the Ragnarok and the Hero Shield, we're in pretty good shape to take on Omega, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm actually going to do the next dungeon, come back to this, and take on Omega. Of course, you will see me take on Omega in just a moment, because I'll just, get that back here. I'll just cut back just a sec. And now that a sec has passed, it's time to take on Omega. Now, Omega is arguably the weaker of the two super bosses in Final Fantasy V, but in this game, he is definitely tougher than Shinryu. Now, the thing about Omega is, he's got 3 attacks. He has Earthquake, which shouldn't prove any problem for you at this point, because, well, 3 of my characters have a ribbon, and 1 of them has a shield that should prevent death, so Earthquake, not gonna do anything to me. Now, his other attacks, well, they're a bit more of a problem. First off, he's got Wave Cannon, which hits the entire party for about a high 200, low 300 amount of damage. And then there's his normal attack, which does that. Yeah, Omega hits very, very hard. And that's what makes this battle so difficult. He can shoot one person, and then he can basically just kick the crap out of them. Thing is, you do not want to let anyone die in this fight, because if someone dies, then you need to waste time getting them back up, rebuffing them, and chances are, if you get him back up, he's just going to kill them a second time, either with Wave Cannon, or by killing them personally. Trust me, Omega is kinda smart like that, or at least he is for me. I have some pretty terrible luck, I suppose. So, I'm employing a bit of a similar strategy in that I'm going to have Link's cast Hilaga constantly. That way, I'm in pretty decent shape. However, I'm also going to be spamming Inviscera. That way, his standard attack, his most dangerous attack, will rarely hit me and actually do a lot less damage. So basically, this is also going to take ages, and I'm going to speed this up too, because it's going to take forever, but I still want to show it all off because, you know, I want to kill Omega on screen. And that's how you kick the crap out of Omega. He's tougher than Shinryu due to his high defense and attack power, but if you just play it safe and just use Invisora a bunch of times and just take your time, you should be safe. Now, the reward isn't nearly as useful as the stuff you get from Shinryu, especially since I can't actually use it, but whatever, we beat Omega, and that's good enough for me. And thus, that's the end of Lifespring Grotto. And remember kids, when future me tells you that he's done in the next dungeon, he's actually lying. He's just going to do this afterwards. He's not actually going to finish there. But, nonetheless, that's it for me. But for you, next time, it's on to Whisperwind Cove.